Hi, I'm Dr. Tim Weir, and I gotta tell you, I love life. But when I'm not being a husband, a father, a grandfather, an author, or a practicing chiropractor, I'm the host of the television show Loving Life with Dr. Tim Weir. I love to cook. I love to travel. I like to spend time with people who do what they love and love what they do. Join me and Elvis for the next 30 minutes as we help you discover how to love life. Hey, welcome to this episode of Loving Life. You know, I love life. I love the liberties, the freedom we have in this country. And so this entire show is dedicated to the men and women who have given up their lives to do that. And I'm honored to have in the studio with me today, Sergeant Major Colton Cooper. Sir. Sergeant Major...
Retired.
Holiness, retired.
Colton's fine.
You're with me. Thank you so much.
Nice to meet you.
Tell me a little bit about your story. How did you get into the service? And
so I don't know, about probably 28 years ago, I had kind of gotten to a point in my life where I needed to get out of where I was at and find something to do with my life.
Sure.
Joined the Army 1986.
Wow.
Went into the infantry. Spent about 8 years in Hawaii in the infantry.
Okay.
Not a bad place to be, but kind of a rough place to be an infantryman.
Yeah.
And then I did about 8 years in Special Forces, and then I switched over to Special Operations and started working there for about another 17 years before I retired.
So in all of that, I mean, you've seen some stuff that you'd probably like to forget.
Couple interesting events, yes.
Yeah.
Spent a little bit of time overseas.
So in doing all of that, you have now hooked up with an organization.
Yes, sir.
Tell me a little bit about that organization.
Well, the Combat Warriors. Bill Warren is the president of Combat Warriors, and several years ago, a friend of mine asked if I wanted to go on a hunt. Typically, the events that we had been offered were geared towards guys who had been wounded, not necessarily people who had had the experience of combat but not been wounded.
Right.
My friend assured me that despite not having been hit, I could attend the event.
Got all your parts.
Yep, I could attend the event. And that was our first Combat Warriors hunt. It was a duck hunt out in Hyde County. There were 6 of us that attended that hunt. And Combat Warriors, I think, was just an idea at the time.
Sure.
Met Bill Warren. Bill was very gracious. He's our first landowner to provide his home and his facilities and his property for hunting for us.
And that's important because you can't just go to anybody's farm and hunt.
Correct. Yep. Our landowners are a huge part of this, and a great one of the great things I've seen as I've gotten more involved with the organization and been involved in other hunts that stem from that original hunt is the interaction between our warriors and landowners, citizens of North Carolina, really, and other states where we're involved. We have a tendency sometimes in the Army to be rather insulated from the outside world.
Sure.
We're confident in what we're doing. But you trust your guys, you trust the guys that you live with and you work with, and you think that everybody else is kind of them, they. And so it was really, I think the big thing that I've taken from the organization is the interaction that we, the soldiers, have had with the landowners. You find these awesome Americans, great people, who give up their time, their land, they put their heart and soul into this, and when you meet them, they're just the most humble, gracious people you could possibly want to meet. They open their houses, they open their kitchens, and it's just, it's really, that I think is the big thing that I've taken from the organization is finding these people.
Wow. Now, whether you're oh Lord, you could have done anything in your life, and you get to be around those people, and those are the people, like you said, you trust. So this is an organization where you can, pastors tell me all the time, I have nowhere to let my hair hang down.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is a place where you guys can go and let your hair hang down, and these are your guys.
Absolutely. So you've got guys who've been through the combat experience, and they've kind of come out on the other side,
Right.
Processed it, and are moving forward. I mean, veterans are not victims. They are men and women who have done great things for our nation.
Yes.
And a lot of them come out on the other side of that and are leading very productive lives. And there are a lot who have had that experience, and they're leading productive lives, but they're also struggling with the experiences they've had in combat. And those folks, when they leave the military, can find themselves kind of isolated. They've been previously part of a team, they had a group, they had guys and gals that they could talk to and relate to, and they lose that. Combat Warriors takes guys who have processed it. Some of them are still on active duty. People who are, have really done a good job of handling it. And we put them together with guys who might be struggling and having some problems. And they get together, and these people are around folks that they have had that combat experience with, and they can talk about it, and they're people that trust them.
So kind of a transition area from active to inactive is you guys kind of provide that safe haven for them.
We do, yes. And the military has a lot of great programs,
sure.
and the Veterans Administration. I mean, there are organizations that are trying to help. But Combat Warriors tries to reach out to those guys who may not want to talk to those formal organizations and give them an opportunity to have someone to talk to. And back to the landowners, I can't say enough good things about them. It's not always about a soldier talking to a soldier. I mean, we've had landowners who have never been in the military come back with these great stories where a guy just sits in a duck blind, or he sits in a hunt and tells them, all the stuff all the experiences that he's had.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here.
It's great to be here. Appreciate you having us.
Oh, you're awesome. Hey, don't change the channel, because we got more coming up. In fact, we're going to be talking with Bill Warren, the president of Combat Warriors. We'll be right back. Hey, welcome to this extra special episode of Loving Life. We're talking about an incredible organization called Combat Warriors. These are people who provide incredible, super things for people who've given up even their very lives for our country. And I have a guest with me whose name is Clay Culpepper. Clay, thanks for being with me.
Thank you. Appreciate you having us.
So talk to me a little bit about Clay, and why are you involved with this organization?
4 or 5 years ago, I was invited to a hunt in Lewisburg as just a volunteer. I've heard a little bit about the organization and just wanted to see what it was about as far as giving back some to what these guys and girls do for us. And went on an event and got to hear some stories from the Warriors. And my son served, he was in for 4 to 5 years with the 82nd Airborne, and it just gave me a whole nother opportunity to give back to some of these people that give so much to us.
Yeah, I think the general public are kind of insulated from what really happens to these people.
Well, I have encouraged some of the TV stations to spend a few minutes on the tarmac when these guys come back or when they leave. And when you hear the mothers and the sons seeing their sons or daughters go off, not knowing whether or not they're going to come back, there's just no explanation for the feeling that you get from that. So the families take a large brunt of this stuff that we just, unless you've been involved or unless you have someone in combat or in place, there's just no explaining it.
Yeah, and so as they come back, we were talking before about it's a different world. And so for us to be able to provide a place for them that's safe for them, that they can assimilate a little bit better, I guess, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's an important part of what you guys do.
No question about it. We develop a lot of relationships with these warriors. They can be from the battlefield in less than 72 hours. They can be at an event, and it gives them an opportunity to wind down, because I don't feel like there's enough time for that. But it just gives them to be in a group of their own. They're brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
And they, like you said earlier, as far as they can let their hair down,
Yeah.
and just unwind a little bit.
So there's a lot of hunting and.
Well, we do a lot of hunting and fishing trips. We do a lot with the families. We do a father and son, father and daughter. We've had Gold Star moms on our events. And it's really not about the actual hunting or the fishing. It's more about just being outside and the fellowship that they have. I do some meetings with some of our volunteers before we host an event and tell them that, you know, it's a life-changing event to have the opportunity to spend with these warriors. It does as much for us, I think, sometimes than it does for them. It's just, it's a special feeling. I feel like it's a gift that Bill Warren has given me to be able to give back to the warriors.
Oh, absolutely.
And the more people, it's you either walk away with it and you either have it or you don't. But I haven't seen too many that
Don't get it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So, and I'm trying to word this just right, because you've given. How can somebody else give?
We have anywhere from 18 to 20 events. You can see me. We have 6 or 7 board members. You can go online and find Combat Warriors, and we're more than happy to have people come out, volunteer, pour tea, carry people to the stand. There's just endless
All
ways.
kinds of stuff.
And you know, there's never a shortage of volunteers when it comes to doing this.
Because Combat Warriors is not your job. What do you do when you're not with Combat
I've
Warriors?
been in the hospitality industry for about 25 to 30 years, hotel and restaurant business. Operate a restaurant downtown, Big Ed's, and it's just a service. It's just another extension of our service. But helping people, giving back, this is what we do. You know, we have a verse in our brochures and on the back of our jackets that greater love no hath the man that would give his life for a friend. And it just means an awful lot to have the opportunity.
Thank you for being with me.
Thank you. Appreciate you having us.
He said, a greater love hath no man than this, that he lay down his life for a friend. If you have, you're trying to figure out what can I do to help these people, first thing you can do is go online, read all about it, find out what they do, and then give them a call. Let them know, I want to help. I want to be a volunteer. Man, what a powerful thing to do. Don't change your channel. We have so much more coming up. Hey, I hope you're enjoying this episode of Loving Life. You know, there are men and women that are actually probably right next to you as you work or as you play or as you go to church who have been a part of the military, and they've given up a lot to do that. And my guest right now is Bill Warren. He's the president of Combat Warriors. Bill, thank you so much for being with me.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Tell me a little bit about now how you got involved, how this all started.
About 10 years ago, I had a friend who worked in Fayetteville, and he had gotten up with some special ops guys, and they needed things to do. So he said, well, I've got some people that have some land in Wisconsin. Why don't we take some of these guys deer hunting? So he called me and said, hey, how would you like to donate? I said, well, that'd be fine. I said, let's do that. So my partner and I sent him some money, and we did that for 2, maybe 3 years. And then we decided that we have a duck camp down in Englehart, North Carolina, and why didn't we just do it there instead of sending guys to Wisconsin? So about 8 years ago, we decided to have our first event for what we didn't know what we were going to be. And we did not know a name. We didn't have an idea. But we knew we wanted to do something to help these men and women who give their time, their efforts, and some give their lives, and their families also. do a lot for us. So we wanted to pay back. We wanted to give them back something.
We were talking just a couple minutes ago, because not everybody who goes off to battle, it comes back missing a leg or missing an arm, but that doesn't mean they're not hurt. How do you work with, how does this help them?
Well, what you have, and this is one thing we decided the first event. Now, we did plan that. We knew there were guys that did not have a physical wound, but mentally they had been wounded, and that they needed to be at these things as much as that guy that had been wounded. So what we decided when we were drawing up our thought process of what we wanted to do, that we were going to have anybody that had been in combat, not a combat zone, but in combat, when you're out there in the thick of what's happening.
And I like the name because it doesn't mention, I mean, it doesn't have to say you're wounded or you've been hurt or anything, but you've been in combat. And I think for the average person who watches Netflix or the news, have no idea of what really happens.
Well, that is true. You can look at all the TV, you can look at all the movies. What these guys go through are real. It's a very real deal. And you'll see it. I had a major sitting there one day, and then I had right beside him was a special operations soldier. Right beside him was a Green Beret. And they started talking. And I knew it was time for me to go, because you could feel that want of privacy. So I left. When I got back an hour later, that major looked like the weight had been lifted off his shoulders. It was just unbelievable what those two guys did for him.
And because I'm telling you, we always look at the warrior, but there's a group of people behind him who gave just about as much.
Well, that's what we decided also, that we not only could do things for the warrior, but we had to do things for the families. You know, we take warriors hunting and fishing because they need that.
Yeah.
But we do other things. We have helped widows getting their kids back to school by giving them financial assistance. We've helped pay for houses, their house payment. We've made some car payments. So not only do we take them hunting and fishing, when we have a situation develop, we try to help them if at all possible.
You know, there's a tremendous, tremendous sacrifice that they've given. Because we sit in our nice warm houses watching TV and having a steak dinner with no understanding that somebody paid for that freedom for us to be able to do that. So it's incredibly powerful what you guys are doing. I talked to Mr. Culpepper about what people can do. What would you recommend people do?
Well, you know, we can always use volunteers. We have 20 events this year. 5 of them or 6 of them will be family events. We just support, but the one thing that we really need, and you always hear people say it, but you know, we need money.
Yeah.
We need donations to help these people out. To watch the families tomorrow will be so rewarding. You know, a lot of people say, well, you guys are all volunteers. And we say, yeah. And then you don't get paid. We said, yeah, we do. Watch tomorrow. Watch those kids and watch those families react with their warriors. It's amazing. And it just really makes you feel like, hey, this is what it's about. This is America right here. And it really just, it touches you.
It's huge.
Huge.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I want you to do something. I want you to join me. I'm going to give $100 towards this organization, and I'm challenging you to do the exact same thing. You might have to give up a meal somewhere. You know, you might not be able to go to the big restaurant and have a big meal. Take that money. Take $25. Go to this website here. Make a donation right now. I'm telling you, Greater love hath no man than this, that he lay down his life for a friend. You don't have to do that. So why don't you volunteer? Why don't you just donate some money so that somebody else can provide a safe haven for these people? It's been awesome being with you. Don't change the channel, because I'm going to be right back. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Loving Life. It was a little different than usual, but I want you to have the understanding that we live in the greatest country in the world, and there are men and women who give their entire life to make sure that that happens. This organization, I'm behind them 100%, and I hope you will be too. Go to their website, volunteer, donate, become a part of that. You'll change lives that you never even knew you could. Please join me on my Facebook page, Loving Life with Dr. Weir. You can also go to my website, drtimweir.com. We've got a whole bunch of information out there. You know, I even do that Twitter thing and all that kind of stuff. Here's what it is. Life is short. I want you to take the life that you have, make the most of it, be the best of the best that you can be. And on your way, help others along the way. And that's what the Combat Warriors is all about. Until next week, keep loving life. We gotta wait for Mike. Gotta wait for Mike. I don't want to do it now.
Dad, it's all about choices.
Oh, God.
It's like a little elephant.
An older guy that's overweight.
Where is he coming in next?
Yeah, he's coming in next. Oh, hi. So I don't know where the rest of the team is. I mean,
Sir, no more freebies.